cigar-shaped ships were over a mile in length. One of them landed on the airport landing strip area. When it touched the ground, it created an earthquake like about a 3.5 to 4.0. It terrified everybody in the area. The back of this craft opened up, and several hundred young men with huge, heavy weapons came out of two sides of the ship and formed a protection line around the ship. And the people at that Air Force base, the commander, had a meeting with the individuals that were aboard this ship. And this particular race that landed those ships and that are seen in these huge cigar-shaped ships, they are a black race. They look like African Americans. They were about 6'4", 6'5". These tight-fitting black leather outfits on, and the weapons that they came out of the ships with, they were huge weapons. And if you've ever seen a race of people that were conquerors, that had never been conquered, they've got this look about them of arrogance. That is exactly what these extraterrestrials had, and they informed these people at this American Air Force base that not only were they from a militaristic society, but they had controlled a large portion of the galaxy that we live in. And this was the statement that Ronald Reagan was making to the United Nations when he said that if all the countries on the planet realized that there was a threat from outer space and from an alien civilization, we would all come together. But he was not allowed to make this statement. What I tell you is true, and the gentleman that you had on before, tell him to look up.
Often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien...
All right. Shalom, first and foremost, I give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rechakwadash, double honor to the Apostle Elders Great Millstone, and salute to you brothers out there preaching his word, sharing the truth. All right. Basically, the video just seen is the guy Norman Bergeron. It was a burger run. Yeah, he done a plethora of interviews. And he's basically saying, these aliens, that's basically the big talk, right now, amongst the government agencies. The government's trying to do investigations on UFOs, UAPs, and basically, this guy's just giving his testimony, and I believe he works at like NASA or something like that. Let me see if I can do some research on this guy. Norman Berger. It's a Bergeron. Yeah, this the guy right here. Let's see. Dr. Norman Bergeron. Bergeron is the author of the classic books Remakers of Saturn and Tomorrow's Technology Today, which document the existence of extraterrestrial vehicles of immense power. A scientist who pioneered the methodology of thermal ice prevention design, also credited with roll stability laws for airplanes and missiles. Okay, Bergeron was manager of test planning and analyst for the Polaris underwater launch missile system and evaluates satellite system applications. So Esau got these satellites, and he can see. Esau can see, far into space. All right. Also a director of information systems. He founded his own company in 1971, cited who's who in the world and other reference works. All right. Let's go back. Actually, let's just go to the scriptures. Yeah, but this guy describing that the extraterrestrials, coming out these ships were, tall so-called black men. Okay. He says 6'4", 6'5" in that interview, but the other interview, he said they're about 7 feet. So very, very tall so-called black men getting out the UFOs. And the Bible describes them as angels, and those are the vehicles that Yahweh Shai, because Yahweh Shai is whom the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. Yahweh Shai, he's described in the Holy Bible in Revelation, the 1st chapter. Okay, 1 to 13. Also in Daniel, the 10th chapter, right? As a so-called black man, white woolly hair. Okay. He says feet, his legs and his arms brass. That's in Daniel. His feet as bronze has been burned in the fire. That's describing a so-called black man. All right. And our Lord is coming back to deliver his elect. All right, and what you call so-called UFOs, with his angels, basically shooting laser beams at people. Okay. So, tying, 2 and 2 together, tying these things all together, via the scriptures, it makes sense, But I'm just read some accounts in the scriptures that the angels did come down and sup and gave visions and delivered messages, because that's what the word message angel means, messenger. Okay. Delivered messages from Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and helped out the prophets, in times of trouble, things of that nature. Protect the prophets, But yeah, let me start at Genesis 19. It said the overview is the doom of Sodom. And there came 2 angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. Now Lot is a so-called black man. All right. Okay. Lot is the family member of Abraham. Okay. Abraham was also a so-called black man. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. Okay. And he said, "Behold, now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early and go on your ways." And they said, "Nay, but we..." Okay, hold on, wait. Verse 2, and he said, "Behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, your servant's house, and tarry all night." So, Lot is basically presenting hospitality, and wash your feet. So it tells you the 2 angels that was, sent from Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, Lot, had feet. Okay. So basically, they was in extraterrestrial bodies. Okay. And when the Lord comes back and deliver his elect and, basically gives the elect Israelites the second covenant, eventually all Israelites will have a second covenant. We'll be in our extraterrestrial bodies. Okay. We'll be out these, these chains of darkness and these bodies, bodies we have now, they're subject to sin, they're weak, they're feeble. All right. But the Lord's going to give us these new bodies. Okay. But they're still going to be terrestrial, extraterrestrial, because they're going to have like superpowers and stuff like that. All right. And also in the book of Corinthians, the 15th chapter of the 1 Corinthians 15, Paul breaks down the celestial and terrestrial bodies. Okay. So when everybody dies, they get a celestial body. Okay. Which is a different glory than a terrestrial body. Terrestrial basically means earthly, 3-dimensional. Okay. And wash your feet. And I'm go back. Wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early. So these angels, they look like so-called black men. Just like Lot. All right. And go on your ways, and they said, nay, but we will abide in the street all night. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him and entered into his house. And he made them a feast and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. So the angels ate, because the Lord, the Most High, he has power to, send angels down from the third dimension, not third, the third heaven, until this, in a terrestrial body. All right. Cause when you pass on, you automatically get in your, celestial body, and you don't eat or drink. Okay. But when you come down in the terrestrial, that's when you can eat and drink and, things of that nature, But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. And they called unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which came into thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them. So these men that's dwelling in the city of Sodom and Gomorrah, they was committing all type of, legal acts of homosexuality, So they wanted to basically commit homosexual activities with the two angels, man. That's how wicked that society was. America is spiritually called Sodom. Okay. And Lot went out at the door unto them and shut the door after him and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. Behold, now I have 2 daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do you to them as good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing. For therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. So the Lot basically said, I have 2 daughters. You can do whatever you want to my daughters, but don't do anything to the angels. Okay. Verse 9, they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came into sojourn, and he will needs be a judge, and now we deal worse with thee than with them. And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door. But the men put forth their hand, so the angels put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house with them and shut the door. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. So the two angels had power to blind those wicked ass people, that was trying to commit homosexual acts against them. Okay? So it tells you that, that the angels in the extraterrestrial body looking like so-called black men, and they had spiritual power, man. Okay? You shouldn't know the rest of the story. That's pretty much all I wanted to get. Let's see when Howard Shaw's resurrection. What's it at? I want to grab one more. I mean, there's many different accounts. Gazing up, gazing. Oh yeah, it's Acts. Let me start at Acts 1:6. When they therefore were come together, they asked him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? So these disciples are asking Yahweh Shai, when he came back to sup with them after the crucifixion. The Lord was resurrected. Are you bringing back the kingdom of Israel now? Because, when the Lord comes back, it's going to be great violence, all right? Because the Lord's going to be taking down these governments, thus with violence, Babylon should be thrown down, man, and this whole world. And he said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father has put in his own power, but you shall receive power after that the Holy Ghost has come upon you, and you shall be witness unto me both in Jerusalem and all Judea and Samaria and unto the uttermost parts of the earth. Yeah, it's the uttermost parts of the earth, America, man, Great Babylon. And he had spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. You go Psalms 104, that cloud are the chariots, so-called UFOs. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel. So those are two angels, okay? Those are two angels, man. That's what Yahweh Shai. Look like so-called black men, man. Which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahweh Shai, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. So the Lord was beamed up into a UFO, so-called UFO chariot. Okay. So, man, hey, there's many other accounts, like I said, but I'm gonna just give you these two. Lord was edifying. Shalom.